the 5 millionaire habits that will make you millions. For the first time ever, 1% of adults are millionaires. So that's a lot of millionaires. So I want to go through 5 habits that is going to put you on the path to joining their ranks. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Number 1 is you need to get good at failing. Why is that important? Well, if you have been in a formal education system, that means you have had 18 years minimum of learning not to fail. So you have been doing tests, assignments, and courseworks and dissertations, all in an effort to not fail. Now, if you come from an African background, you've studied in Africa, certain countries, if you don't pass the year, you're not even going to the next year. You're going to repeat the year with the next bunch of pupils who are younger than you. So now you can add the pressure and the embarrassment on top of your failing. Not to mention your parents, and you had to pay for it. So there's a lot of pressure to not fail. And if you've looked into psychology at all, the first 7 years of your life, your brain is just on a learning spree. So if you've learned from a very young age that nobody likes to fail, the likelihood is when you get older, you are going to do everything you can so that you cannot fail. And what's the best way to avoid failure? Well, that's just to not try at all. So we've been programmed from a very young age to think that failing is bad. But the truth is, if you want to enter the world of entrepreneurship, failing is a necessity. And people need to shift their beliefs into understanding that to fail at something because you're doing it for the first time is absolutely fine. And it is acceptable, and it is actually needed because you don't know it. And because you don't know it, it's only right that you're not particularly good at it. But it's your commitment to continuing the learning process so that you can reach a stage of mastery. So learning to fail forward is a major habit that you need to adopt in order to put yourself on the path to becoming a millionaire. Now, on a side note to that, when you have added responsibilities in life, it is more difficult to take risks, and the fear of failure becomes even greater because people are counting on you 100%. Now, I'm not in that position in my life yet, but I understand the additional stress and pressure that is involved, should I say, when you are in that kind of situation. But that does not neglect the fact that the fear of failure is one of the biggest reasons stopping so many people from achieving financial success. So the second habit is a new lifestyle, and new standards are better than having new goals. Now, the human mind is a goal-seeking machine if you pull it to the task, but the more efficient path is if you just set new standards to your life. You see, goals are very arbitrary. They're here today, gone tomorrow. And to be honest, many don't even have goals. And the ones who do set goals, they tend to set very weak goals that are, easily achievable. Or they go on the opposite and set like crazy goals that are so beyond their current scope that it's okay for them never to reach it because it's way beyond what they believe is even possible at present. So setting goals is very arbitrary. What you want to do is to set new standards for your new lifestyle. And this is based on James Clear's Atomic Habits, which is a phenomenal book. It is a bestseller like week after week. When you form new standards, that's basically forming new habits. So the important thing is not the end goal, but it is the actions that lead to the end goal. So if you want to become a millionaire, or you want to dramatically increase the level of income in your life, then you need to set new money making standards. So you need to read, you need to learn from successful people, you need to stop doing things that non-successful people do. And it's something that Charlie Munger, the business partner of Warren Buffett, he calls inversion thinking. So if you're struggling to find out, well, what can I do to be successful? Well, look at all the things that will make sure that you are not successful, and just make sure you don't do it. It's very simple. A great way of thinking. The third habit is investing in yourself first. There's a great book called Profit First for those who are in business already, which is pay yourself first. Because if you do not look after yourself, it's very hard to look after the people around you long term. And long term, you will also become affected by your own neglect. If you're not paying yourself very well and doing your best to pay everything else, eventually you're just going to run out of steam because you're busy paying everybody else and paying attention to everything else instead of paying yourself and paying yourself more attention. Now, I know this may sound selfish, but the better you are, the better you are for everybody else around you. So how do you invest more in yourself? You need to narrow your focus. So pick one or two things that you want to go all in on. Then of course you increase the quality of it by getting better and better at it. And once you've got your one or two skills that you're mastering, you can then increase the speed to which you bring in clients, or to which you do whatever it is that you do. You can then scale from that point. So once you've sort of identified the skills, you've grown the skills, now you can go out there and be like, all right, cool, these are what I'm doing, these are the skills that I have, this is the business that I have, let me get clients, or let me get people to now pay me a certain amount of money. But all of that starts with you investing in yourself, because nobody is more important than yourself. As selfish as that may sound, self-care is not selfish. Point number 4 is having a long-term mindset and understanding the power of compound effect. Now, many of us would want to be millionaires like yesterday, but as they say, the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago, and the second best time is right now. I got into a phase where I fell for, the marketing language of 6 figures in 90 days. But what I realized was that it is possible to do 6 figures in 90 days, but only once you have a certain skill set and a good selling system in order to make the money in 90 days. Now, that only happens when you benefit from the compound effect. And what I mean by that is that you have put in the time already to narrowing your focus, getting better at what you do. You have put in the time, and now all you need is some guidance to show you how this all works, and in 90 days you are capable of making 6 figures. But if you do not have those 2 previous ingredients, making the 6 figures in 90 days is increasingly difficult. So understanding long-term thinking and making time your friend. Don't put all these unnecessary pressures on yourself by saying you need to make these big amount of money in like a week. You're putting unnecessary pressure on yourself. And it's an irony that you can achieve way more. People underestimate how much they can achieve in a decade, and they overestimate how much they can achieve in a year. So remove the unnecessary pressures and focus on the long-term gain. The average millionaire is anywhere between 37 and 57. So if you're 20, if you're 30, if you're 40, you got time. Think in 10-year chunks instead of yearly chunks. So once you've sharpened your skills and you've done it a couple hundred or thousand times, you're in a better place to accelerate your growth. And the fifth one is taking calculated risks. Many people who have reached the millionaire upwards lifestyle bet on themselves, and that requires a huge amount of confidence. Now, confidence comes from competence. So you've got to be good at something. The better you are at a particular something, the more confidence you have, and the more confidence you have, the more likely you are to bet on yourself. And all of this takes a lot of faith, because all you need is one thing to work and it will set you up for life. And that is the power of entrepreneurship, because you can try 20 things and all of them fail, but one of them can set you up for life. So you need to have the mindset of, no matter how much times I fail, I'm going to dust myself off and keep on going. Because all you need is one of these businesses or one of these ideas, one of these ventures to work, and you are set for life. So those are the 5 habits right there. I'm going to sort of sum it all up for you. Number 1, you've got to get good at failing, because that is part of the journey. Number 2, setting new standards of your lifestyle is way better than setting goals. Investing in yourself first and foremost, having a long-term thinking mindset, and finally taking calculated risks. So those are the 5 key habits that will set you on the path of becoming a millionaire. These are the things that I have been checking myself on and doing it on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, because I am on the path to a millionaire, and I hope that you can join me on this path by starting online businesses that set you and your family free, and that is time freedom, money freedom, location freedom. So that was the end of my 3-part series. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have, please leave me a comment below, like, subscribe and share. And yes, I appreciate any comments below, and I will definitely get back to you. So thank you very much, and see you on the next one.